Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Telling It Like It Is. My name is Jade Alberts, the founder of Peer Guidance. We guide, listen, and connect small business entrepreneurs and startups. Sharing knowledge and stories is why I started Telling It Like It Is. It is live. You have any questions, please ask away. If you're watching this on a platform after the fact, do not hesitate to ask your question. We will answer them. I would like to thank Community Now Magazine for the support. They engage, educate, and inspires us to be stronger together. Check out their website. It is in the comment section. You can just click on it, communitynowmagazine.com. They just launched their third anniversary edition. It's awesome. It's a little neat format where they got clips from a lot of their best articles. It's definitely something that you should click on in the comment section and check them out. I am really excited about today's guest, Robin Daultani, from the founder of Nicerr. Robin, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Jade. How are you?
Oh, I am fantastic, fantastic. So I know one thing that I'd like to talk about briefly is how we met, and again, it seems like it's been the same story for a lot of people. We met through Rainforest and Zoom, and then of course we had our own Zoom call during the COVID time here, and now you're on Telling It Like It Is, and now you're gone. Oh, that's interesting. I hope he can come back. Well, we will just give it a minute here. Like the good old world to technology. Sometimes you don't know what happens. Oh, there, you're back. You're back. Well, like I said, you never know what's going to happen in the world of technology. So here we are,
Yeah,
right? It's just like we just hit the pause button for a second and now you're back, just like magic.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I swear I didn't do anything.
Oh my goodness, that is awesome. Yeah, I mean, it happens, right? Just like in business, you got to quickly adapt, change, and move forward.
That's true. But I'm glad I'm back. So,
Me too. No, for
yeah,
sure. I said, we had a great conversation, and when we first met, and I really was, I really loved what you created, and I'm excited to share what you've done. So I really thank you for joining me today.
right. Well, I am on a video call as well.
Oh,
Jade, just give me a sec.
oh, okay.
Uh, yeah, this is the problem in a co-working space, right?
Oh, you're too loud.
I was told that I'm too loud. Am I too loud?
No, you're not too loud. Not loud at all.
Oh, okay, okay. So
We'll just get
I'll
you to
try to
we'll just get you
speak
to
like
whisper. So what I'll
so.
do is I'll give a brief introduction here, and then we'll get into the interview part of it. So, Robin is passionate about creating social impact through technology, which he's currently doing by building Nicerr, a social enterprise based in Calgary. Prior to founding Nicerr, he spent 12 years working across a range of functions, sales, finance, and operations for corporations like P&G, GE, ACOM, Veream in Canada. He's also passionate about animals and travel. He lives in Calgary, which is better half Joe, and his daughter Skyra. So, like I said, I'm pretty excited about talking about Nicerr, and I believed in what you were creating so much. Obviously, I became an advisor and signed up, and what I really want you to do is please share why you started Nicerr and the vision that you create for it.
Right. Sure. But before I start, I just kind of want to tell all the viewers that, Jade, I really appreciate kind of the work that you and Peer Guidance put in into our community day in, day out. And there's a common link like purpose before profit. And that was kind of the strand that connected us, as you said, right, through rainforest and the conversations further. So a big thank you to you and your team for doing some amazing work.
Oh, thank you.
And yeah, so regarding the story, I think, as I said, purpose before profit. So prior to starting Nicerr, I used to work at a technology startup in Calgary. And a lot of conversations I had while at that startup revolved mostly around automation and productivity, right? And but a lot of times I would just kind of go and think how technology can actually impact people around the world, right? Like there are great strides that we are doing in technology, but at the same time, there are like millions of people who are dying of hunger, of disease. And I always wanted to do kind of do something that uses technology as a tool to create social impact. And last year, I read a business article on how Warren Buffett auctions for lunch every year, and the winning bid last year was $4.7 million, and that blew me away. Like $5 million to meet someone. But at the same time, the main question I asked myself was, why only Warren Buffett? Because we have so much knowledge and so much expertise that's logged into our own communities, right? Like take your example. You've successfully done businesses, sold businesses, and you are using that knowledge, that expertise to help other people. But at the same time, I wanted to create a platform which allows people like you and others to kind of pool in their knowledge and expertise to help people, but also kind of mobilize money and funds and resources for uh, a cause, a charity they care about, right? So Warren Buffett was the inspiration, and I started talking to people, and that idea slowly became what Nicerr is today, which is, uh, as you said, right, a platform where people from various domains come in, they become experts and advisors, they volunteer a little time every month, and they help people who benefit from their guidance and in exchange for a small contribution to a charity they support.
No, absolutely, and I think that is very very neat, and obviously the Warren Buffett inspiration is quite neat, and I mean I know it's something I've been watching for years to see who it is, who buys it, how much they pay for it. It's way out of my realm of I would love to sit down with him, but don't have 5 million just to throw down on a lunch. I hope he picks up the tab at least for the lunch, but. Um, I mean, and again, as I said, like I do believe in your vision, and and I supported it coming on, and the charity that I do a lot of work for is the Brown Bagging It, and I've been helping them for a long, long time. So, how do you find the people like myself or all the other I don't really like the word experts, but all the
Right.
other advisors that are willing to give back and donate some of their time to charity? Do they come to you, or has the Nicerr brand kind of just gone out there and everyone's just passionate about it?
Right. So, great question. So, when we started last year, I approached a lot of people. So, when I did my kind of idea validation and customer validation interviews with people, a lot of people were interested in this idea if it went ahead. So, I reached
Yeah.
out to them and said, "Okay, we are launching. We're calling it Nicer. This is what it is, and would you like to sign up?" So we signed up 22 people when we started in last September, and then we saw kind of that whole flywheel of momentum slowly kind of moving around. So these 22 people who signed up, they shared it on their LinkedIn. The people in their network got to know about it. They started approaching us, and slowly we are kind of growing like organically now that we get roughly 3 to 5 requests a week. I want to kind of emphasize that not everyone makes the cut, because we want people who really want to kind of help others, right? Helping others and benefiting a charity are kind of two very important strands for us.
Yeah.
So we, to your point, we do like we have stopped reaching out to people actively. It's people who find out about Nicer through their network or through the posts they see. They typically sign up. We have a really simple sign up process. The profile is ready, and yeah, it's all through the word of mouth and networking. So we have 120 over 120 advisors right now who are public. There are a few advisors who have asked us to kind of remain behind the curtain and just give them a meeting only when there is a match. But yeah, we're really pleased with the way the whole platform has grown over time and the way it continues to grow.
No, and I mean, and the list of people that are willing to give back is impressive. And again, for anybody that wants to see it, you can just go to nicerr.org. It is in the comment section. You just click on the website, and it will or click on the link, and it'll take you directly to the website. So let's talk a little bit how the process works. So I'm Jade Alberts, and I need some help. I go to nicerr.org. I click on the website. I'm there. Explain how the process works for me.
Right. So, excuse me. Currently, there are kind of two primary modes for people who are seeking advice or mentoring from people. The first mode is so there is a simple form in which the person needs to tell us who they are and what they are looking for, and we match the person with the right advisor or expert who can help that particular person in that particular situation. The second way is there is a list of all people on the platform, and people can search or sort through that list based on what they are looking for, either if it's a keyword or if it's a category. So these are kind of the two ways that people find the advisor. Once they have found the right advisor, either through our recommendation or through their own search, there is a simple form, and it asks we call the advice, like people looking for advice, seeker. So it gives the seeker an option to kind of put three time options that work for the seeker. And these are the time options that are passed to the advisor. The advisor can either accept one of the times that the seeker has proposed, or the advisor then proposes three new times. And we have seen 90 to 95% of meetings happening within these six kind of time slots, which are proposed from both sides. And then we as a platform accept the payment. We schedule the Zoom call. Everything is automated for kind of both sides, and then as soon as the meeting happens, we transfer the money to the charity within 48 hours of meeting, when the meeting happens.
So was everything always done on Zoom, or was it an option for me to go and say I'm going to talk to Warren Buffett and we would meet for a coffee, or was everything done just via Zoom?
Great question. So pre-COVID, we were primarily an in-person meeting platform. And that kind of derived from my personal experiences where I actually got a lot of meeting if I met someone in person. But like COVID has changed so many things in the world, and this is just one of the things which has changed. Now people are really comfortable talking to others over Zoom or any other video chat software. And what actually, it was a blessing in disguise, because what it allowed us to do was then start connecting people where the location was no longer a constraint. So if someone in Calgary is looking for advice in manufacturing, we can connect that person with someone in Korea or India or wherever. So that whole kind of the video call functionality has given us kind of a great way to quickly set up meetings. The other thing which we kind of experienced pre-COVID is when people are supposed to meet in person, it's not just the meeting, but it's all the logistics around that meeting. Where are the two persons supposed to be on that day, on that time? And the like in-person meetings typically took longer to schedule, whereas video calls happen in like 2 days, 3 days. So it's really fast and convenient. We are not ruling out the option of an in-person meeting, but we want the first meeting to happen through Zoom. And if both parties are comfortable meeting, they can actually meet on their own for any subsequent meeting.
Well, that's interesting. So if someone actually enjoys a conversation that they have with the person, it can proceed from there outside of Nicerr. Is that what you're saying? So Nicerr will just do the initial contact, and the donation goes to charity, but any subsequent meetings are basically on the people's shoulders.
Correct. So that primarily kind of depends on the advisor. So there are a few advisors on the platform who prefer that those meetings go through Nicer so that their charities can get a sustained donation. But
Okay.
there are people who like use Nicer more as an icebreaker platform where they say, "Ah, I connected with this person and we just hit it off." They are free to exchange their kind of contact information and just kind of take it outside Nicer if they want to.
Interesting. So I get has I mean, obviously, COVID has moved everything online. Have you found any challenges with people, whether it be financial or your marketing, or has COVID changed any other aspects of Nicer's business?
Yeah, again, as I said, it's like, yeah, COVID changed a lot of things. Like when we started going all virtual, that was the time that uh, so I'll take two steps back. Last year we launched this whole pilot, which was very focused on Calgary and Canada.
Hmm.
But then after COVID, we realized that now people in Calgary or Canada need not just connect with people in their locations or communities. We can actually open the entire world to them. So we moved to a new domain. We are, to your kind of point, a lot of marketing changed. So now we have people signing up from US, India. There are like now location is no longer a constraint. And all we kind of need is a slight time match. So we have done meetings where the seeker was in London and the advisor was in India. So those meetings have started happening, and based on how that whole mode has changed, marketing has changed too. Like we are now kind of appealing to a more broader set of audience. The other thing which has changed recently, I shouldn't say changed, but it's new for Nicer, is we saw a demand from people for not just one-on-one meetings, but more for a small group workshops kind of thing, where they wanted a person or an expert or an advisor to kind of give like do a workshop, right? And we explored that option, and our that's actually very timely because our first workshop is happening today, this afternoon. So with a really famous photographer, Michelle Valbert. So she's a Canadian Geographic photographer. Her photos have appeared on coins and stamps, and she's doing a very limited and exclusive workshop for a charity she supports. So just 6 people in the workshop, 2 hours, ask any questions. She will kind of walk them through how to take photos from kayaks and canoes because this is her specialty. She kayaks and canoes a lot and takes really brilliant photos from kayaks. So that's an example of how we have evolved with COVID and in general way too, because the way people are learning, the way people are kind of looking for advice, mentoring, or learning is changing, and we are changing with them.
No, that is interesting. Again, I'm talking with Robin Daultani, the founder of Nicerr.org. You can click on the link in the comment section. We'll take you directly to their website. So I guess every company has a little bit of an evolution and say how you started, kind of individual. Is that where you really want to take your company next? More focused along discussions like that, or is this just kind of a one-off type thing?
Yeah, again, Jade, I think you probably know so much more than me on this thing because you have worked with so many startups, and we like as a startup, it's kind of part and parcel of doing a startup that one has to evolve and one has to change and one has to continue kind of on that path. So for us, as you said, uh, what we are doing is kind of the current nicer, but at the same time, we are exploring more applications of the platform. So not just for individuals, but for other customers. Just gave an example of the workshop which was not in the plan 3 months ago, but then we heard from our customers that they are looking for kind of exclusive learning opportunities, and can we make that happen through Nicerr? And we were able to do that. So we call it Nicerr Q, but again, Nicerr Q is an evolution of Nicerr. We are working on other products and services which will kind of our DNA still remains the same. We are still a social enterprise. We still have this whole social impact as the fabric that determines what we do and who we serve. But we see so many applications of kind of having such a great roster of advisors and experts, and how can we offer those services to people and customers who need those services. So yeah, lots happening behind the curtains, and lots to come. So really excited about the future.
No, I mean, as you should be. I mean, we had a little discussion about this before about how companies have had to evolve over the last 2 or 3 months, and some of them from whether it be on in person to online or setting up some sort of obviously e-commerce to keep things going and adapt to curbside pickups and obviously really the support local, with which obviously we discussed and hopefully will take charge and some of our fears of people becoming very comfortable doing stuff online. But and even as you said, I mean, it is a global economy. So whether somebody that has the expertise doesn't have to be in Calgary or Edmonton or Medicine Hat, they could be in Toronto or India or London. It doesn't really matter. So I mean, I think that's really good, because this is something that not only is others why involved, and when obviously to see your passion is again the opportunity to give back to a charity, to share your knowledge, and it's no different than why I started telling it like it is. It's here to share
Right.
knowledge in your story and things
Right.
along those lines. So I'm glad to see that you're able to evolve your Nicerr into something bigger and better.
Right. Yeah. And as I said initially, right, that's the common fabric that kind of connects you and me. It's the whole idea of helping communities and the purpose before profit, right?
Yeah, and it is a very helpful economy and entrepreneur world in Alberta. As I've worked with some other people in other provinces, it seems to be the same across Canada, and it's only, I think, going to get stronger. So that's kudos to you for setting something like this up. I just absolutely love it, and I'm glad that you're able to move forward with it as well.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, it means a lot to an entrepreneur. So thank you.
So I guess my last question here it's always been the same, and I mean you've been in business for, well, the startup is still really startup mode, and you've been growing, which is great, and probably faster than a lot of startups. This is probably fresh in your mind, this question, but if you had one piece of advice for a small business, a startup, or entrepreneur, Robin, what would that be?
Right. So yeah. So that's a very difficult question, Jade, because like this kind of thing changes every month, right? Because as an entrepreneur, you discover something new every month, and it's like going back, oh, wish I knew that before, and all that sort. But one kind of very key learning for me, and which I actually do tell a lot of entrepreneurs, is just do it. Because I see a lot of people who have great ideas, but they think about it a lot in their minds, and they want to make sure that when their idea sees the day, it's perfect and it's packaged just right and it has the right colors and the right feel. But my kind of biggest advice to them is just do it, right? Like launch it as soon as you can, take feedback. Your idea will never be, I shouldn't say will never be, but in 99% of the cases, it won't be the same that you kind of initially thought, because ideas, markets, people evolve. And we
Yeah.
have seen that. with Nicerr, that the initial idea has changed, is changing, and that's my advice to people. Think just launch. Like, luckily, we live in an age where technology is not very expensive. It's not very expensive to prototype something, talk to people, try out an idea, see if they are interested. And but I still see a lot of entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs just kind of thinking things in their mind and not getting things out on the laptop or in the paper or in an application. And I just tell them to go, just build something, take feedback, and just evolve. So that would be kind of my number one advice to entrepreneurs.
I like that advice. Just do it. Simple, straightforward, stealing it from Nike, but I mean, it works for them, right?
Exactly.
It should work for everybody.
Correct.
But no, it is. We had a conversation with Craig Elias and a few other people about this yesterday, and really how people try to perfect things and want it to be just like this, or I got to have this in place. And you know what? You got to get it out there. You got to see if it's going to take. You got to see if people are going to do it, and like your idea and buy stuff from you or whatever your idea is. So it's something that I totally agree with. It doesn't have to be perfect. Things change. I mean, this is a prime example how even in the 10 months you've been around, how Nicerr has evolved and gotten stronger and better, and then if you would have waited, who knows what would have happened? You probably would even have been scared to launch it during a pandemic, and it would have sat on the back burner for another 4, 5, 6 months. So I could not agree more with that advice. So, but that being said, Robin, I mean, I'd like to thank you for what you are doing and the Nicerr and the giving back, because in this time of uncertainty, who knows what's going to happen with some of these charities, and people don't have that extra. They might get cut out of their budget on what they're going to give for obvious reasons. You have to support your own family. So, anytime that somebody has an opportunity to give back, I just love it. And I wish I could have you on every channel and that you do. And I highly recommend anybody to click on the link in the comment section. Definitely check it out. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness, and it is not a lot of money for an hour and a half to sit down with one of the advisors on there and get some a really solid advice. So thank you for making this available to the people.
Awesome. No, thanks for such a great opportunity, Jade. I always enjoy talking to you, and thanks for the great work that you and your team are doing. And thank you for being an advisor on Nicerr too. It's great to have people like you who kind of put purpose before profit. So kudos to you for all the things that you do. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Thank you for the kind words. And again, we're all in this together, right? Hashtag stronger together is what everybody says. And again, that's kind of even like what Community Now does, right? They put people that are connect them and network them, and we're all there to help each other. So thanks again, Robin, and I really appreciate your time today.
Awesome. Thanks, Jade.
Perfect. I hope everybody has a great week, and we will see you next Wednesday.